We got this email, rad@radradio.com. It's from Brandy,
Hi, Brandy.
who says, Shelby Elias from financewithshelby.com is amazing. I called him to check on my loan about refinancing. I had just talked to a different person that sent me a letter, told me everything would be great, blah, blah, blah. I thought I need to check out my Rad family people. So I called Shelby, and he said, wait, just keep texting me, and I will let you know if anything changes. It's not in your best interest right now. I love that you guys partner with such honest and beautiful people.
That is.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Honesty is always the best. He will always have my business.
Oh,
so,
wow.
I don't know if you remember, Brandy, but you basically said, don't do anything. This didn't benefit you in any way. Maybe it will down the road.
Yeah.
But you were just honest with her.
That's exactly right.
How about that? What a way to do business. By the way, happy birthday.
Thank
Oh,
you.
my God. Happy birthday.
Now, if you're watching on RADTV, you see the perfectly positioned happy birthday balloons
We got just for you.
behind Shelby. Now, they are slightly deflated because it was my birthday last week, and we're recycling those for you.
I love it.
But we knew you were coming in, and so we wanted to. How old are you?
It's amazing. 39.
Aha, really?
Yeah.
Not like
39,
not
no.
39 again,
Yeah.
but really 39.
Not 39 forever.
All right. Well, happy. But you gonna do anything special other than work?
Yeah, we're going to iHeart Music Festival this weekend.
Awesome.
Nice.
Excited
Cool.
about that.
So this is
Yeah.
one of those. The birthday falls on a Tuesday, so the celebration winds up being on the weekend. So,
Yeah.
all right, man. Couple questions for you. Depending on where you get your news, they're talking about the millennials' biggest fear, right? Because the millennials were kids when the 2008 crash occurred.
Yeah.
And so now the biggest way you can trigger them, other than asking them to work a 10-hour day. Sorry, you're a millennial, aren't you? Is tell them that there's evidence of a housing market crash, which some stories yesterday or last week started to come out. And here's what they're going with. They're saying that a record number of Americans are interested in selling their homes. And their angle on this is the limited supply of homes for sale has been the last line of defense against a U.S. housing downturn, because if there's a limited number of homes for sale, basic economics tells you that it's unlikely for prices to drop. They're saying, well, all these people are looking to sell now. There's going to be this flood of houses. Oh, my God, it's 2008 all over again. You've been saying from the beginning it's not and it won't be. Are you still there?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously nobody has a crystal ball, which I always lead off with that, because the world doesn't even make sense anymore. So it's not like we can attribute that to one specific thing. Like, see, I told you this is what happened. Before there was that case. Bad loans caused the market to crash, period. And that's what happened. And right now, we don't have any of that evidence to go off of. So if they say, well, it's going to flood the homes, well, where are all those people going to go? Like, let's just start there. So, okay, everybody wants to sell their house. What are they going to do? They're going to trade in their 2.3 interest rate and go up to a 6% rate? No, it doesn't make sense for people to sell their homes because they have to rebuy at a higher interest rate, a much higher monthly payment. Now, I guess you can argue, well, all those people are going to move out of state. Okay, well, anybody that's been looking to move out of state, now you see, wow, it's really not that much cheaper. What happened? Yeah, you missed the boat. It's like, so I don't see that happening at all. Now, could something trigger a housing, market correction or something like that? Yes. I heard you this morning talking about the strike, right? That might trigger something. But you know how the media is. They're going to say, see, we told you. No, the rail yard, union strike caused this to happen. But from what we know, we've been giving out good loans to good people that qualify. Anybody who's bought in a house in the last 10 years knows what a pain in the butt that was, right?
Yeah.
It took us a long time to get to where we're at and scale the positions to do the employment verifications and everything that we do to make the process not a total pain in the butt. So right now, I don't think that is the case. What we're seeing right now is interest rates have moved up so fast. They literally have doubled rates from the beginning of the year until now. Interest rates have doubled. That's causing house payments to be a lot less affordable. So there's a lot less buyers out there. So, we're seeing a market pullback. Well, we all extremed huge equity gains. Like, of course you're going to pull back. But I don't see a market crash or anything coming from any of the data that we can see.
You got questions for Shelby? We already got some emails here. We'll get to rad@radradio.com. Phone number is 888-989-9811. I saw a story last week, too, that completely misrepresented And the big hair on fire headline was, "Oh my God, they're doing zero down home loans again," which that was one of the big bugaboos about 2008. But when you actually read it, it's this Bank of America program that's actually designed to target Hispanic and African American low-income communities, and it's not actually zero down. It's a grant that the bank gives you, and this is all under the guise of housing equity. It's actually a really cool base program, and it's not a zero down thing, but you got to read to like the 18th paragraph to figure that out. Otherwise, oh my God, zero down again.
Yeah.
Like, do we need to manufacture bad news right now? Am I missing something?
No, but I mean, I with the little I know to maybe make somebody feel better, like buying a house back in the early 2000s. Oh my God. Honestly, I'm like, what's the big hubbubaloo? It was like so easy. And then buying one later, like just a few years ago, and my credit's even better. And I'm like, what more do they need? Like there's paid off debt. There's no, and the credit's amazing. Like, oh my God, it was a much different process. They were digging way deeper than they dug in the early 2000s for sure.
Based on what I saw, what they need apparently is 4 times the paperwork as what it took 10 years ago.
Yeah.
It's gone from an inch to 5 inches when you buy a house now.
Literally how we used to do loans when I first got into the industry, we would, if you had above a 700 credit score, we'd tell you over the phone, literally, and say, I would need you just to write down on a piece of paper how much money that you make. I swear. It was called a no income, no asset loan. So you have good credit. So we're going to trust you.
Wow.
And I'm talking this is the biggest banks in the world. This is how they did a loan.
Wow.
Write down on a piece of paper. Tell me how much money that you like. Don't forget to sign and date it. That was the whole key. It was like, oh, man, you wrote it down, but you didn't sign it. I'm going to have to send this back to you. And we would have loan documents to your house in 3 days.
I would have loved that.
Wow.
This last time I felt offended. I'm like, to my husband, have they not seen our credit score? Like, are you kidding? You're just like, oh my God, they have, like, what more do they need? We are good people.
What did they call it? It was like it was basically self-reporting or something. I got a loan like that once. It was basically just say, this is what I make.
Wow.
Stated income.
Stated
Just
income.
state how much income that you make. And that's when we say bad loans. That's what we're talking about. Like, come on. You can't do a loan like that. And now it's just over-verified, over-scrutinized. So unless something, does change, I don't see how that can happen.
We just got this note from Candace.
Hi, Candace.
Says, I want to thank Shelby. My husband and I lost our home in Paradise. We are desperately wanting to get back up there. We looked at a modular home, which was beautiful. When I reached out to Shelby, he explained why that's not the way to go since they lose value, especially since it wasn't on property. We reevaluated our option, listened to his advice. Happy birthday, Shelby. And thank you, Rob, for partnering with great people. All right.
Yeah, that's with a mobile home. So people always call in about those.
Do you want to take a moment to crap on new homes again like you did last time you were here?
I didn't get as much backlash as I would have thought. I think people were like, wow, actually, that makes a lot of sense.
Because I noticed that
It does.
people are, now everybody's worried about there's going to be another interest rate hike. So not to do your job for you, but when I see that there's going to be another interest rate hike, I think that if I'm thinking of buying a home, I should buy one right now. Because the interest rates are just going to go up.
Yeah.
I mean, because it's back to your timing the market thing. Unless you're willing to just sit on the sidelines, which if you're renting, you're just paying somebody else's mortgage. If we know interest rates are going to go up, which they are, then wouldn't you get more aggressive, buy the house, refinance later when they go down? Or am I missing something here?
I think that there's a right and a wrong way to do this. But you're right. There's no way to time the market. But there is a right way to invest in real estate. So you have to see what all the opportunities are. The other day I was speaking to a group of real estate agents. I said, if you don't think right now is a great time to buy a house, you need to go find a new job. Straight up. Like, if you really think that right now is not a good time to buy a house, you got to go somewhere else. What you do need to find is what is the right type of home to invest in right now. And the wrong type is a brand new home because you're buying a house that has zero equity. Right? Everybody in real estate, what's the number one rule? Location is everything. When you buy a brand new home, how is that location? It's not the best. It's usually off the beaten path. When we did see a crash happen, what communities took the longest to recover from that? A brand new home community that's way off the path because they lure you in. They're like, oh, look, it's brand new. Don't worry about the location. Don't worry about this. That'll all be solved here in the future. No. So you're buying a house that has zero ability to add any value to it. You're relying solely on the appreciation of that specific neighborhood because none of your neighbors can rehab their house to make it look better and improve your equity position. I don't think that's the right way. So what you want to do Home's the number one biggest investment you can make. Right now, you want to buy in a location that you couldn't normally have bought in. You're in, it's like, oh, there's no homes available in here. Nobody wants to sell in this area. So focus on those areas now. And so, buy a great location. Buy something that maybe you can add an ADU to. And now the ADU, you invest in, an ADU is a accessory dwelling unit. So what I mean by that is, say there's a detached garage on the property that you're buying. And your plan is, you know what, I want to invest in that, remodel that, turn that into another unit. And then I'm going to put that on Airbnb. And then you're going to use the income from that property, help you make your mortgage payment. Back when there was no inventory, those types of homes were not available, and now they are. So you find the opportunity there. Find a house that you can remodel the kitchen, add square footage to the basement, add a bathroom. All of those are properties that you would look for in the market like today. You want to find a house that got overbuilt, right? We all know people get emotional. They're like, you know what? I want that infinity pool. Well, they're never going to get that out of it. But they spent $150,000 on this beautiful pool.
Oh my God.
And they're never going to get the money out of it. That's where you find the opportunity. Buy the one with the infinity pool, the pond, the man cave, the guest house, all that. Somebody overbuilt a house. Now you can come in and buy it. There's a house in Loomis right now. It would have easily sold. It's on Monticello. Now the house is going to sell, watch. But it's on Monticello. It's absolutely gorgeous. The house has 2 humongous barns that you can rent out to generate income for. It would have sold easily for $3 million. It has the most beautiful pond I've ever seen. The house is absolutely gorgeous. They overbuilt the whole house. Property's amazing. Would have sold easily for $3 million. Now it's listed at 2.5. I guarantee you can even land yourself an even better deal on that. And there's no way you would have ever even bought that property before. But I mean, I'm considerably lower price. So you want to find a great agent that knows the market. They know how to get a good deal. They're confident, and they're going to get you that deal. So if the market goes down 5, 10, 20, whatever, however much amount, you already built that in, and you can't lose. That's how you win.
Well, going back to when you were saying like the new homes and how they're out, but then they'll say to you, oh, but they're going to build this and this here, right? Mm-hmm. But there's no guarantee of that, because a girlfriend of ours, they're in a home division where they were like a high school's coming, a brand new high school. Their kids were never able to go to that high school. Now the high school's built. This is like 10 years later.
Yeah.
So it's like those things they're telling you, you can't be certain that that's going to happen to help, the home value of your home that you just got for new. You don't know when those fields are actually going to be built in.
Yeah.
It could be 15 years.
To the point of not timing the market or knowing, hey, look, we want to buy. We got this note from Lupe. Says, my wife and I bought our first home last November with the help of Shelby and his team, and we are so glad we didn't wait any longer. My wife looked up what our monthly payment would be with current rates, and it was almost $1,000 more a month for the same house at the same price. Thank you for partnering with advertisers like Shelby. We love you. We got this from Andrea. Says, last time Shelby was here, I wrote in practically ugly crying because my credit score had dropped by almost 100 points. Yikes. I took Shelby's advice. I called my credit card company because I missed the first payment, and the credit card company, with no issues, deleted my late payment. And just 5 days ago, I got my credit score update. It went up 50 points.
Yay!
Anytime I have questions for Shelby, he's always right there and ready to answer. Thank you so much, Shelby, for helping me with my annoying questions.
That's what it's all about.
What about cash out refis? Is it still a good idea? Casey says, I have about $160,000 in equity in my house now. My interest rate is 3.125. Is it smart to pull the cash out now and have a higher interest rate with a new loan?
Mm-hmm. So you want to look into, obviously, comparing a cash out refi to a home equity line of credit. And I can help you make that analysis. But when it makes sense to do a cash out refi, it's more so when you're analyzing paying off long-term debt. Maybe a credit card that has a $50,000 balance, and you're not going to be able to get that paid off. So when you look at something like that, and it also depends on how long that you've been in the home, because you want to think when you're refinancing, you're going back to 30 years. You don't have to. You can choose any term you want, but the majority of the time you go back to 30 years. So if you've been in your current loan for 5 years, 7 years, even 10 years, just by going back and resetting at 30 gives you a huge monthly payment break. So, a lot of the times people say, oh, I don't want to touch my mortgage because I don't want my rate to go from 3.8 to 5.5 or whatever it is. But that's okay if you're wanting to just save money monthly, because by going back 10 years on your loan, now the savings are huge. So you want to focus on paying off things like large amounts of credit card debt. Yes, check it out. If you've been in your home quite some time and you want to re-amortize it, go back to 30 years and save the money monthly. That's awesome. But we're analyzing all kinds of stuff. We're analyzing other avenues on where to save money. So we're not only looking at your mortgage to save you money. We're looking at ways to save on your energy bill, ways to save on your car payments. Like, we're analyzing all of your debt as a whole and helping you make an educated decision on what to do.
Another thing we've come up the last few times you've been here is the possibility of actually buying from your landlord that you're renting from. Janine says, I've been renting from my landlord for the past 3 years, and he has offered to sell us the house. The only problem with the house is it's completely outdated and needs updating throughout the whole entire home. He's willing to sell it to us, but he's still asking for market price, which we feel is extremely high and not worth it for the amount of work needed to be put in the house. Should I have an appraiser come out and look at the house to give us a better idea of how much the house is worth? We would love to purchase this house because of the size and location.
I love that. Yes, I received many calls from the last time that we were on, because I said, look, if you have a house that's a deal, call me. I'll help you put it together. I'll even partner with you. So by asking your landlord, by asking your friends, family, do you know anybody that has a distressed house, something maybe like a hoarder house or something like that, something that needs a ton of work, something just sitting there, then we can help break that deal down. Now, for your landlord, once you get into the spot to where they're open to negotiate, sometimes one side of the story is a little bit unrealistic. So what you do is you say, well, let's just get an appraisal. And yeah, you are gambling. It's going to cost you about $500, but that appraiser is not an investor. He's not also a real estate agent that's going to be pushing for a particular value. So at that point, he's going to come in, and obviously you have control of how the house looks, so go ahead and make it as messy as possible. Yeah. But he's going to come in, he's going to look at the house, and he's going to go, yeah, this house obviously needs a ton of work. This is not like some of the other homes that were really nice that sold for the price, and he's going to appraise it low. Then once you get that low appraisal, you can say, hey, look, let's negotiate even more. Then you negotiate on some repairs that need to be done, and you would know that better than anyone else. And then you negotiate the repairs, and then by the end of it, you have yourself a really good deal.
People get so intimidated by the word negotiate. I think that's what holds them up a lot. But in that example that you gave, you're actually coming to your landlord with the receipts that say, look, you're way overpriced here.
Yeah.
And I've been here for 3 years. Be fair. What is the forgivable equity program?
Oh, this is a great program. It's called the Equity Builder Loan. That's what we coined that as. And it's a loan where you can get up to 10% down gifted to you for free. So what it means, obviously there's no free money, but it's a grant program that gives you up to 10% down to help you build equity, in the home. And you only need a 640 credit score to qualify for an FHA loan, 660 for conventional. There are income limits that come along with it, and you have to live in the property for 5 years. So you can't refinance. You got to live there for 5 years. And then if you do, then that 10% gets gifted to you. But that 10% can go towards covering your down payment, covering closing costs,
Wow.
Just additional funds. But again, you have to qualify for that grant, and there's an income limit. I think the income limit here in Sacramento County is $81,900, something pretty close to that. So that would help you qualify for up to around a $400,000, $450,000, probably $450,000. But that gives you 10% down
That's
to help you
great.
qualify.
Oh my
It's good. It's a good
gosh.
program.
And you guys run that program?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're doing lots of those right now.
We're with Shelby from financewithshelby.com. Here's an odd one. Christina wrote in this morning when she heard you were going to be on and said, can you ask Shelby how he feels about open door? I'm currently selling my house, and we constantly leave for showing the house, and the person flakes. We have 4 kids, 2 dogs. I work from home. He works nights. This has been a nightmare. I didn't even know anything about open door. This is a different way to sell a house.
Yeah, it is. Open door allows the consumer to kind of take control of the selling process. And I think the consumers can actually access the home just through an application on their phone. That gives them access to be able to see the homeowners' homes. And what we've been seeing is, when you remove the professional from their job, right? It's harder than you think, and that's what she's experiencing. They probably gave her a discounted price to be able to list her home, and it's turning out to be an absolute nightmare because they're just relying on the technology and people to do the job. But there's probably a lot of really bad things that can happen when you don't have a real estate agent that's on the hook to make sure that things go well. I saw a pretty crazy post the other day from a real estate agent that said, "Oh, this is nice," and there's a shotgun in the closet of a house that they were touring. And they're like, holy cow. But I mean, the homeowner, they're not thinking of that. They're like, well, whatever. So,
Jeez.
but that would be a prime example. What if you listed with a company like Open Door? Nobody told you to not do that. And then somebody goes in there and, steals your gun, does a crime with it.
Yeah, that could have turned out so bad.
Well, and as a gun owner, what an idiot.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, people in your homes, especially strangers, lock that thing up.
Yeah.
You kidding me?
You see crazy stuff.
We also got this email from Jesse.
Morning, Jesse.
You got your fingers in so many things, Shelby. Says, Shelby is awesome. My family had a wedding in Tahoe last month, and we stayed at Emerald Bay Village. We stayed in the Vikings home. Such a great design and was such a great stay. We were able to look into the Bay View and Eagle Point. They're beautiful, and they're done so nicely. My lady forgot her blow dryer and was freaking out. I texted the number, and 30 seconds later, a knock at the door, and there was a blow dryer and a Tahoe Blue vodka package.
Oh, my gosh.
Shelby's employee was on top of it.
Wow.
Great and beautiful place. This will be the only place we will stay whenever we are in Tahoe. Thanks again, Shelby, and happy birthday.
Awesome. I
That's
love that.
amazing.
That's cool.
How's the booking for Emerald Bay Village? And
It's going really good. Yeah.
is there a point at which you can tell people you got to book now for like holidays? Are you already done for 2022, or what's it looking like?
Well, we actually limit the booking in the future because we're trying to focus on family reunions. It's a very unique property that you can rent the whole thing. So you can invite a party of like 30 people. We've had some people rent out like their own like movie theater screen, and they had a movie night out there for all their kids, and they get their own live music out there. So it's great for like bachelor parties, bachelorette parties, like that. The entire wedding party could have stayed there, right? So it would have really created a cool vibe.
Nice.
So we're still kind of working through some of that and figuring out how we're going to advertise for those larger groups. But that's who we would really love to be able to host to, because it's just such a special experience to be able to do that.
Christine says, does Shelby run any special healthcare worker programs or have any information on them? Also, first-time homebuyer.
Yeah. I love that somebody's bringing that up, because a lot of those programs that are coined for healthcare workers, it's really just a marketing ploy. So like if I wanted to say, oh, I have this special program for healthcare workers, and now we are discounting our underwriting fee. That's not really true. It's not just for healthcare workers. So a lot of the stuff that you're seeing out there, it's just marketing ploy. Say, oh, healthcare workers can now put 3% down on a conventional loan. It's a first-time home buyer. No, everyone can do that. So a lot of the time we see that, and it's just marketing. So yeah, call me, and I have amazing healthcare worker programs.
You've perked up a few years with your forgivable equity builder loan as well. We got this question from Nathan. Says, if I make $70,000 per year right now and I qualify for the 5-year 10% grant, but then get married in the next 5 years, will I still get the loan forgiveness if she makes an income that puts us over the limit?
Yeah, yep, you're right.
It's already
You're
locked in,
qualifying
right?
based on right now. And another thing too is that, if you have income that maybe is like Social Security or something like that, you can qualify based on what your individual income is. It doesn't necessarily have to be from your wife's whatever. So
And that's smart for both of them. If they know they're going to be together, they're going to get married, but they're not married yet, he qualifies, he gets in. She knows that in 5 years they're getting the grant forgiven, and it's a win for everybody.
Yeah, good way to start out.
That also brings up another good point too. If people are like engaged and one person wants, you could literally do this program 2 times with two different people before they get married, or you could do the same for a first-time homebuyer program. If you're thinking, shoot, I'm going to get married here in the next year, I need to buy with my first-time homebuyer, so I only put 3% down. Let's buy a house for her with her 3% down, and then that allows you to have a rental property. You only put 3% down, so live there for that year that you're engaged, move out, and boom, now you have an investment property.
Few people have written in with this question, like Jay, who says Shelby was just talking about those equity builder loans. If you've recently purchased a house, can you still qualify after making the purchase?
No, bummer.
They won't just let you go back in time.
You gotta ask.
Oh yeah, no, you do. Yeah, because everybody's going, oh, why didn't I do that? This question's from Rick. My wife and I live in the Midwest with a conventional 30-year mortgage. We'd like to keep this house as a rental property and purchase a home in another state as our primary residence. Down payment, no issue for a new house, but with our income, we would fall short of qualifying for a second mortgage loan. Is there a way that we can accomplish what we want to do, or would we need to sell our current residence?
No, you can use the projected rental income from the house that you're currently in. You need a lease agreement and you need a copy of the deposit. But at that point, we can use the estimated rent or the new rent for that property to help you qualify for the next house.
So he's online at financewithshelby.com. You can follow him at Shelby Elias, Elias, on Instagram. Anything we forgot, my friend?
I don't think so, but yeah, I've been putting out a lot of content with investment strategies on Instagram.
Tons of videos lately.
Yeah, lots of stuff. I mean, people are really liking, just everything in life. It's not, I don't post just about mortgage or just about real estate. It's like, here's how you bump your credit score. Here's a great investment technique, side hustle, like just trying to bring as much value as possible. And I try to bring it through my Instagram channel by producing content that I could share with everybody.
Have you broken your 100,000 views record that we were talking about last time?
Yeah, I did. I got a couple of them that were over 100,000 views.
Nice.
It's pretty exciting.
That is.
He's on Instagram at Shelby Elias, Elias, and he's online at financewithshelby.com. Happy birthday, my friend. We'll see you next time.